Good evening. Police bosses in Devon and Cornwall have revealed plans for a fundamental rethink of how they deal with violent crime.
They want to commit £1 million a year to tackling the causes of serious offences like murder, domestic abuse, sexual assault and drug trafficking. Sam Blackledge is outside Crown Hill Police Station in Plymouth for us this evening. Sam, this sounds like an ambitious plan. Just explain how it's going to work.
Yeah, well, if we take a look at some of the numbers around this, 40% of all crimes across the whole of Devon and Cornwall are linked to some sort of violence, whether that's in the street or in the home or even online. So the police want to take a new approach. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean extra officers or more police stations like this one, but they want to set up a dedicated team to stop people in their tracks and identify potential offenders before things get a chance to turn violent. Devon and Cornwall is one of the safest places in the country. Last year, the overall crime rate was down, with 59 offences for every 1,000 people. But behind the sun, sea and surf, all is not quite as peaceful as it might seem.
We may be deemed as one of the lower crime areas, but violent crime is increasing and other areas of crime is going down. So we've got to tackle the violent crime, but you can't keep arresting your way out of tackling crime head on. We've got to try and stop it happening in the first place.
Today, the Commissioner set out ambitious plans for officers to work alongside experts from health, education and local authorities to identify the early signs of violent offenders.
We all say prevention is better than cure, but we never get round to putting our money where our mouth is. And this £1 million investment in a centre for the prevention of violence is going to make a real difference. I'm not scaremongering. What we're doing here is we're saying we've got some inherent violence going on in our communities. We want to really understand what that's about and try and stop it from a much earlier perspective.
Just this week, the members of an organised crime gang were jailed for bringing misery and fear to the streets of Dawlish.
That blighting of a community, that's where we don't want to be. And so you would take something like that operation and unpick it and put it into that hub about what were the preventative measures that could have been done early. What could we have done with that community to target harden it and get those victims to come forward sooner in a way that will endure more than just the life cycle of those who are involved in the operation. It becomes part of our working practice.
Now, of course, doing more to tackle violent crime comes at a price. People are being asked to pay more than 4% on their council tax bills. So we've been asking shoppers in Plymouth whether they'd be happy to fork out for safer streets.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely. Because it's gone so bad here now. You know, I'm being a victim of it with someone totally off drugs, trying to kick my door down.
As long as you explain it right, about what you're wanting to do, I think it should be okay, because, I mean, safety is number one, right? Where are you going to go if you're not alive?
I haven't seen a policeman for days. And I live pretty central. As a kid, there was always a bobby on the beat. And yes, it made you feel safe.
The numbers have been crunched, the figures scrutinised, and now we wait to see whether this new approach to policing really will make our region a safer place to live. Well, after a long day of heated debate, the crime panel did eventually pass that police budget for the coming year, but not without a bit of controversy. At one point, the councillors threatened to veto the entire budget, and they launched some pretty stinging criticism at the Commissioner for failing to, in their eyes, consult with the public over that 4% council tax rise. Now, I understand this evening Alison Hernandez is not happy with the way in which that meeting was conducted, so this is surely not the last we've heard on this highly charged issue.
Sam, thank you very much. Sam Blackledge there for us this evening.